Hello, Virgo. Welcome. Take a seat and relax. There's nothing you need to do in this present moment except to relax and enjoy your reading, Virgo. So to start your reading off, we have card number 1. Here, I'll try to show this one a little bit more. Although, it doesn't really matter. The important part is what's written right there. Hug it out. Hug it out. So the one thing I didn't like about this card when I made it, and then, this is, I felt like I was scared of this card coming out in the situations to where, people are just being treated poorly. And this card comes out and it says hug it out. So this, I don't want to give the message of just hug it out with them. Who cares if they treat you poorly? Who cares if they're gonna keep treating you poorly? Just hug it out with them. Just be friends. Just be cool. But that's not really what this card is about. This card is about hugging it out in a situation to where both parties are on the same page and both parties don't want to hurt each other. And then you can hug it out. But this is card number 1 as well. So imagine in a 1-player game, and this card comes out. Hug it out. Well, hug it out with who? This is a 1-player game, So the one thing I did right on this card, because I thought it was pretty straightforward, right? Hug it out, tense situation, just to, give it good vibes. But for this situation especially, hug it out. This has nothing to do with other people. Hug it out with yourself. Especially if this deals with you treating yourself poorly. Hug it out with yourself. Treat yourself the way you deserve to be treated. Because a lot of times, especially with spiritual people and people that enjoy this type of things, we put ourselves aside. And we try to please other people, right? Because that's the one thing I've noticed with myself especially, because I had a huge case of anxiety. I was very depressed for the longest time. I just wanted to be inside my cave where it's safe and have nobody talk to me while I sleep, But one thing that I've noticed, now that I'm a lot better, and I still feel anxious, I still feel sad. Feeling better doesn't mean that you don't feel bad emotions. Feeling better means that you don't let these bad emotions affect you, that you just receive these bad emotions as information. But one thing that I've noticed with myself, especially now that I'm a lot less anxious and a lot less depressed, and I see it now more as information instead of weighing me down, one thing I noticed is that the way I've been treating myself. I never really treated myself like I treat other people. I would put myself aside to please other people. So I would never treat other people the way I've treated myself. So why am I treating myself that way? So my biggest focus for a long time, because I was in hermit mode for a while too, during the depression and then even after. Even right now, I'm still in my hermit mode, kind of, even though I'm trying to come out of my shell a little more, but opportunities haven't arisen to, so, I could create opportunities, but anyways. But the biggest thing, though, that I learned being on my own in this hermit mode, trying to understand, trying to get myself to feel better, is that I wasn't treating myself the way I treat other people. And then I decided to change that. And I decided to treat myself how I do other people. And of course, I felt better. I've been feeling better right away. Because you matter, right? The way you treat yourself matters. If you treat somebody else the way you've been treating yourself, of course they're going to feel horrible. Of course they're going to feel anxious and depressed. It's because of the way you're treating them. But we never think about it that way when it deals with ourselves. So it's time to put yourself first. It's time to make sure you are taking care of yourself. Hug it out. especially when it deals with yourself. Stop beating yourself up if you've made mistakes. Just stop beating yourself up for no reason. Stop beating yourself up for other people. Make sure you are taking care of yourself. Hug it out, especially with yourself. Make sure you are taking care of yourself. Wow. Wow, okay, cool. I really like this energy. 2 major arcanas. We have number 13 and then the number 12 following right after. That's pretty cool. Okay, so the Hanged Man, right? This person is hanging there. He's in a situation to where he is hanging there. He is upside down. Things aren't the way that they should, right? That's what this person is thinking. He's hanging upside down. He's not supposed to be upside down, especially hanging by his foot. And that way of thinking kept him trying to get out of his situation, right? He would struggle. He would move. He's trying to get out of there. He's trying to get out of the situation. But then this Hangman realized, after he got tired of trying so hard to get out of the situation, right? Then he got tired, and then he became more still because he's tired. His energy is depleting. But then the Hangman noticed, hey, this is hurting a lot less the less I move, the less I struggle, the less it hurts. So then he becomes in touch with his own power, and then he stops moving, because he knows that if he kept moving, he would struggle. He would hurt himself even more. So he became still. He let what is happening happen. And it seems like that's where you were. You probably still are, but you were there. Not anymore, because death is here. Death is all about change. This situation is dying. Thank God, right? And then this Hanged Man, right, because this situation is dying, bam! Now he's right side up. Now he's not hanging there. Now there's no rope. Now he's free to move around. He's safe again. He's free to be himself again, instead of doing nothing, being stagnant, and just hanging there. So this situation is definitely changing because we have death here. How cool is death, right? Everybody sees death as bad, but I mean, if you're going through a situation like this, death is good. Dying is good. For the situation to die, leave and go away and leave me alone, how good would that be? That's why death is good. Seasons are good. Change is good. Right? This is like it being winter forever and ever and always, and there's no other season. There's just winter. And it feels that way with our life sometimes, though, right? When we are going through tough situations, where we are going through bad things, we think, oh, life sucks. This is never going to get better. But it's the same way as thinking, oh, man, this winter sucks. I'm so limited to doing winter things. It's so cold outside and it sucks. And it's never going to change. Summer is never coming. Spring is never coming. It's just going to be cold forever and ever and ever. Seasons change. And so does our life. Our life also goes through seasons. Our life goes through hard times because we learn through those tough times, and then life goes through some cruising times so you can enjoy the things that you've learned before. And I mean, how nice is it to relax, right? But if you relax forever, then you become stagnant, right? This feels like in a job, and a person, and then there's an old person working at that job, and they've worked there for 60 plus years, and they have always done things the same way, and things aren't changing. They do become more stagnant, because they've been there so long, and they think, oh, nothing bad is ever going to happen to me. But then something bad does happen. That's why seasons are good and stagnation is bad. Stagnation gets you to not be in the present, to not be in that ultra instinct mode. Because that is where you are at your best, during that ultra instinct mode. So yeah, life is a little bit like school, right? The times at school, you know, they get hard sometimes. We are learning, and then we have tests, so we can make sure that we learned what we learned, right? And we have tough times sometimes during those tests, and you know, it's all really just you pushing yourself, learning something new, getting yourself uncomfortable, so you can learn something. This is all about learning. Whatever the situation that was going on, the sole reason for it is for you to learn something. There's something you need to learn here. So let's focus on that instead of focusing on beating ourselves up, because the situation is changing, and you are going to be able to move freely soon. Let yourself be vulnerable. You won't have to be so tense all the time. New vision, look at that. And the burden. This new vision is a burden, and this hangman changing is a burden. So, it feels like you are so used to the things that are happening that you don't want them to change, because you already at least know what's going to happen. Right? If things change, if there is something new coming your way, even if it's better, well, we don't know it. It's unknown to us. We don't even know if it's going to be any better. What if it's worse? Right? So the situation that we are in, that it feels like we're trapped, but we're choosing to be trapped because we at least know what's coming. Even if it hurts, we at least know what's coming. It's a known. It's not an unknown. So this new vision, the hangman, being able to move freely now. Death, you know, new season, change. It almost feels like something new popping into your life is more scary than the life that you are living now. But how do you know it's going to be more scary than what you're living now? I bet there's so many more things that would be better than the situation that you are in now. There's probably so many more things, better things out there. There's not that many worse things, if I'm honest, because this feels like the very downhill, but you picked up so much speed on this downhill that you're about to go somewhere new, go somewhere else, new vision. So keep this in mind, just this one card, new vision. If something new is coming into your life, that means that it's not going to be like the life that you have known so far. And this feels like you're in winter, right? But then you see this changes coming, but you're terrified that this new season that's coming up, right, like spring, that this new season is going to be even worse than winter, that it's going to be even colder than the winter that we know, that it's going to, be worse than winter. It's going to be worse than the lowest of the low. See how I keep bringing up seasons? Like, we already know that spring comes after winter, right? We already know that summer comes after spring. We already know that autumn comes after summer, and then winter pops up again, And then you keep choosing that rotation, right? Choosing that pattern, because you already know what's going to come next. Even though you don't like what's going to come next, but you at least know it. But no more of that. We have a new vision out here, new ways of doing things. The seasons are going to change too. Winter might be ending, and then all of a sudden it's autumn. Like, what? And then after autumn comes spring, and you're surprised, and you're like, whoa, this isn't what I expected. But things end up being way better than you could have expected, because this is something new. There's something that you can't even imagine about, because we have a lot of major arcanas, and those are all new things. Look at that, power. And 10 of Swords, ruin. Cool. So we are giving too much power to this situation. Too much power to this pattern. Right? That's why we can't leave this pattern and go to a new pattern, because this pattern has too much power over us. So it's kind of cool, the sandwiching, death and ruin, sandwiching your reading, but me saying, how great is that? How great is it that this horrible situation is dying and is being ruined, right? And this is what's perspective about. This is why life is so awesome. It's things that seem so bad, but we need those bad things, to end something even worse. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, we are ruining this situation that we are in, we're ruining the power that it has over us. And it's the Ten of Swords. So this is in your head as well. Okay, because in your head, this pattern, this situation definitely has power over you, but it's all in your head. As soon as you, right, take that perspective of, I am done. I need to take care of myself. I have to make sure I treat myself the way I treat other people, and that's gonna, putting people aside is going to be worth it if I am taking care of myself. And it's not because you're not putting those people aside because you're a horrible person and you're mean. You're putting those people aside because they're affecting you negatively, right? It's like, imagine having cancer, right? And you're like, well, I gotta welcome this cancer. I can't kill this cancer. I can't ruin this cancer's life. Like, I gotta make it a part of me now. I gotta take care of this cancer now. But the more take care of a cancer, the more it's gonna kill you. So what we want to do with that infection, with that cancer, with that bad thing that entered your body, right? We gotta take it out. And then you're not a rude or mean person because you took that cancer out. Whoa, that was a loud sound, huh? That's how loud this situation is gonna get when you take that cancer out. But imagine the silence that falls afterwards. All right, we'll get one more card, just one, from the Office Oracle deck. Wow. What a way to end this reading. We have card number 23. And this card tells us that everything that you want in life, you get. If you want pain, you will get pain. If you want to stay in the situation, you will keep the situation. If you want change, you will get change. If you want something totally new, you will get something totally new. Here's a quote from Death. Death tells us that we already did the hard part. We are alive. And just for being alive, we deserve everything that we truly desire. So I really hope that reading helped, Virgo. If it did help, please help me as well by leaving a like, leaving a comment, and subscribing if you would like to keep hanging out, as this is a safe place where we try to figure life out together. So thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.